Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with our weekly recap of all things injustice. This is the week of May 15th, 2025. Current challenge is Gaslight Batman, who's a 1-week repeat. Required characters are Batgirl, Joker, and Raven, who are available cheapest as Challenge Gold, Silver, and Challenge Gold, respectively. His passive is Guardian Angel. Batman evades enemy tag-in attacks and has a high chance to throw a grenade that causes burning upon enemy tag-in. On teammate tag-in, a swarm of bats attacks the enemy, which causes damage over time, and a chance for the enemy basic attacks to miss for 6 seconds. He's got 1400 attack and 1400 health. He was last reviewed May the 2nd, 2024, just over a year ago. So he's got really high stats. All the things that make him annoying to face are what makes him useful. He's got essentially a 4-part passive, despite the description breaking it down to only 2 sentences. So 1 is he evades enemy tag-in attacks. 2, he's got a grenade for burning damage over time. 3, teammate tag-in causes damage over time. And 4, basic attacks can miss for 6 seconds. When it's basic attacks against his teammates. He does only a tiny bit of damage over time when you tag in against him. It looks way worse than it is with that animation. But the key is it stops Master's Death Cart from working. It stops Rebirth Raven from stealing his power as long as you're not in the middle or just right at that tail end of a special. You can see in some of the footage here where he actually gets his power stolen by Rebirth Raven. That normally wouldn't happen if he hadn't been doing a special 2 to knock out Raven's opponent. It stops tag-in passive effects. So Cassandra Cain Batgirl, Luchador Bane, he's totally immune to that. It also protects against Arkham Knight Batgirl's passive, so when she tags in to save her teammate, she doesn't stun you. So if you set up Gaslight Batman to be your main damage dealer and you're fighting an Arkham Knight Batgirl team, I think we've got footage of that in this sequence of fights, she will save the teammate, but you're not going to be stunned and vulnerable. That combination of missed basic attacks, only for teammates, not for Gaslight Batman, and damage over time, what that means is the opponent is generating very little, if any, power for those first 6 seconds. What's nice about him is his special 2 is back and loaded. There's 3 hits. The first is a small amount of damage. Second hit cannot knock out the opponent either. It's really only the 3rd hit that can, and it's got most of the damage. So he can be very effective against Raven or John Stewart Green Lantern to bypass their health trigger passives because most of the damage is that last hit, and you're much less likely to get into that danger zone of the opponent's health on the first 2 hits, which could not knock them out anyways. So I think the strategy you should probably adopt is just don't bother swiping too much on the first part of a special 2 if you're facing them, and max out the tapping second minigame. And unusual for Batman skin, the secondary effect of a special 1 is bleeding instead of stun. Batman Ninja Batman's like that too. I think stun would be better. I would actually prefer it because the amount of bleed feels like it's pretty negligible, but it does allow for inflicting boosted damage. His special 2, fully ranged unless the opponent blocks. It's funny when you see that because if the opponent blocks, it's like there's nothing that happens for the first couple hits. But if they don't, I haven't seen yet a fight where they are so far enough away that the special 2 hits whiff, even if it looks like it should. Special 1, like all the other Batarangs, fully ranged, can have multiple gear under effects, which makes him great with Claw of Horus, which is how we have him geared out now. And it shatters multiple gears potentially with 1 special 1, and you don't need to wait for a second tag in. All right, so week 55 since the end of the 4-year repeating challenge cycle. And what this looks like is week 1 of a repeat of the cycle that started with the reintroduction of Gaslight Batman after having been absent for a few years. So what that means is they've replaced a 43-week challenge cycle with a 54-week cycle. And we're still sort of in uncharted territory there's still 12 missing challenge characters. There's always a chance that they're going to reintroduce them, but I'm not holding out hope. What seems likely for next week, if it goes to the most recent sequence of challenge characters, it's going to be Red Sun, Green Lantern. This week's multiplayer reward is Gloves of Azrael, which becomes Gauntlets. There's a 30% max health increase. There's a 95% life drain chance on Combo Ender. There's a 95% life drain chance to teammates on Combo Ender when it's fully evolved and maxed out. It was last available on October 10th, 2024. And so we're in a funny position right now. In this current challenge cycle, we've had 2 interruptions, 2 corrections. We are back, hopefully, in the usual pattern of multiplayer rewards. And if there still is a pattern, next week is likely to be Blackest Night Superman. So, Gauntlets. It is definitely a 4.5-star gear that is completely defensive. Health boost, it's nothing special. You can get as good or better health boost, I think, with other gears. The Combo Ender on Life Drain used to be unique until the overpowered Super came along, which also life drains on Combo Ender. What's still special is the ability to life drain for its teammates. The cards that have extra hits on Combo Ender, like Raven, Deathstroke, Nightwing, Jessica Cruz, they get extra effects from the Combo Ender. It's good on a card that's going to be your healer, and if you're already trying to do Combo Enders anyways because of the passive, so if you're thinking like, say, Earth 2 Hawkgirl for stunning, if you've got somebody with Razzle Ghul Scimitar or Overpowered Super, they all have Combo Ender effects, then this is not a bad gear, because you're just sort of leaning into it so that when you actually do get a Combo Ender, you're just doing that much more. The problem is, you get more life drain, the more damage your Combo Ender does. So you want this on someone who does a lot of basic damage. But, opportunity cost, you're using one of only 3 gear slots for this that could have otherwise boosted basic damage. So it's costing you the ability to boost your basic damage even more. So this is the eternal conflict between gearing a card for being offensive or defensive. So the more you gear for defense, the more you'll need the defensive abilities. The more you gear for offense, the less likely you'll need the defensive abilities because you're finishing fights quickly. We did a video on the gauntlets many years ago, link in the description, but the principles haven't really changed much. The one place where it has changed is that for a card that has overwhelmingly powerful offensive passives, there is some usefulness in defensive abilities to make that character a little tougher. In the old days, there wasn't that much separation, right? Even a strong card still needed an offensive boost with their gears. But someone like Flashpoint Batman can push out a huge amount of basic damage, even with only 2 slots to boost basic damage and increase basic damage crit chance. Other one would probably be Batman Ninja Catwoman. I mean, hers is time limited because of her passive, but she's no less powerful during that time than Flashpoint Batman is. And I will say that Gauntlets is probably the single most useful gear for the Phantom Zone task of Health Steal, because what it does is it steals health for the character using the gear, but it also steals health for each of their teammates. So if you use it at the beginning of a fight, you will get 3 times the benefit of the amount of health actually stolen that goes towards your Phantom Zone task. And triggering Gauntlet's Health Steal 3 times is enough to satisfy the requirements for stealing health at the Elite Crystal level in the first fight, where there is the least amount of Phantom Zone bonus for winning in multiplayer. And in later fights, when you get the higher bonus multipliers, 1 or 2 steals is enough as long as you've got 2 teammates left, because Batman, who we often use in our Phantom Zone teams, has multiple combo ender hits. There's other gears like LexCorp Chest Armor. They give you health steal with life drain on Special 2, which in theory should be more powerful because a Special 2 does more damage. It still isn't as good as just getting a couple combo enders with Flashpoint Batman. Okay. So in the store, a couple new packs. Rebirth Jessica Cruz Challenge Pack for 200,000 power credits. There's a 6.16% chance of getting her instead of the 2.86% chance that you would have in the regular challenge pack. So that extra 50,000 power credits, it's really not worth it unless you're selling back every copy of every other character and you only want Jessica Cruz. And that's not the case for most people. So not a good deal. Better off buying the regular challenge pack. And it is probably a corroborating clue to next week's challenge being Red Sun Green Lantern. I believe each time Red Sun Green Lantern has come, the week before there was the Rebirth Jessica Cruz challenge pack, because he does not have his own unique pack. The other new pack this week is the Justice League pack for $24.99 Canadian, because that's the only currency that matters. You get Superman, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman Regime. So Aquaman is the only character there that's not available in the store. He's a challenge character. So $24.99 is pretty expensive for basically getting one character that's not otherwise available. Because, once you play enough, there's a point that you can see on this account where you just keep on accumulating credits because there's nothing to spend it on anymore. We've got the second week of the character bundle Women of Power, which we talked about last week. Phantom Zone has one more week left. Fight 62 is still broken. Last weekend's breakthrough for golds was Bane, Killer Frost, and Ares. This coming weekend is probably going to be Sinestro, Green Arrow, and Scorpion. There's a link in the description to a thread in the Injustice Mobile subreddit from Devlin16 that goes over the complete breakthrough cycle. As far as current glitches go, we will go into more detail every time something significant changes, which did not happen this week. But even if nothing changes, we still do a more detailed review once a month, the first week of every month. Most recently, that was a recap from May the 1st, 2 weeks ago. You can also see a video tutorial for every working glitch in our playlist, Current Working Glitches, that's linked in the description of this video. The main thing worth mentioning is that the Challenge Reset glitch has been confirmed to be working on this week's Gaslight Batman Challenge. Okay, and that's it. So this is where we like to give a big thank you to our patrons on Patreon. That's Michael Devries, Irvin Ruiz, Hoshi127, Nora Klimek, and Miguel, who are supporting us on the credited level. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. Komoda.